Okay, let's be honest. Have you ever finished a chapter of a book, looked up, and realized you have absolutely no idea what you just read? Yeah, you're not alone. In this explainer, we're going to break down a really simple system to turn what you read into knowledge that actually, sticks around.
And where are we getting all this from? Our guide is the book How to Remember Everything You Read by Shadow. We've basically distilled its most powerful and practical methods right here for you. So, why is it so tough to remember what we read? It's that super frustrating feeling, right? You understand something 1 minute and then poof, it's just gone the next. Let's get to the bottom of why that happens.
The book's dedication really says it all. It's for everyone who reads sincerely but forgets quickly. So if that sounds like you, hey, you're in exactly the right place.
The book offers this perfect metaphor for what's going on. Reading without a system, it's like pouring water into a leaky container. All that time and effort just drains away. The solution isn't to read more, it's to fix the container.
So here's how we're going to fix that leaky container. First, we'll talk about why this is a strategy problem, not a you problem. Then we'll walk through a super simple 4-step framework for retention. And finally, we'll expose the memory killers that you've got to avoid. So what's the real reason you forget? Well, I've got good news. It has absolutely nothing to do with how smart you are. And here it is, the big aha moment. Forgetting is just a sign of a poor reading strategy. And that is fantastic news. Because unlike intelligence, a strategy is something anybody can change, starting today.
It really all boils down to two different ways of reading. Over on the left, you've got passive reading. That's when your eyes just kind of glide over the page. It makes the words feel familiar, but familiarity isn't the same as knowledge. On the right, that's active processing. That's when you actually engage with the ideas, and that is what builds real, lasting memory.
I want you to think of your brain like a bouncer at a really exclusive club. It's constantly deciding what information gets in and what gets tossed out. If you're just passively reading, your brain just assumes that information isn't important. But active processing, that's like giving that information a VIP pass, signaling to your brain, hey, pay attention, this stuff matters.
Okay, so if it's a strategy problem, what's the right strategy? Let's dive into the solution, a simple, actionable framework that you can start using immediately.
And here it is. It's not complicated, just 4 simple steps. Set intent, read actively, process, and recall. This whole system is designed to work with your brain's natural way of learning, which makes remembering stuff feel almost effortless. Step 1 is the foundation. Set your intent. Before you even read the first word, just pause and ask yourself, why am I reading this? It's a simple question, but it primes your brain. It gives it a mission. It's kind of like flipping the on switch for your memory. All right, step 2 is all about reading actively by taking breaks. Instead of trying to power through a whole chapter, just read a few paragraphs and then stop, pause. That pause is so crucial. It gives your brain a chance to actually catch up and process what you just took in, instead of just getting flooded. So what do you do during that pause? You do step 3. You process. And this is probably the most important part. Close the book and explain the main idea in your own words. You can say it out loud, scribble it on a napkin, whatever. If you can't explain it simply, you haven't really learned it yet. This is where memory is truly made. And finally, step 4, recall. Before you jump into the next section, just ask yourself, wait, what was that last part about? That little bit of a struggle to pull the information out of your head, it's like lifting weights for your brain. It's what makes that connection stronger. Remember, recall isn't a test, it's training. So now that we have the framework, let's look at what not to do. It's time to call out some of those common habits that are actually killing your recall. Here are the 3 biggest culprits. First, rereading instead of recalling. Second, mindlessly highlighting everything. And third, binge reading for hours, which just overloads your brain. Now be honest, do any of those sound, a little too familiar? Let's really focus on rereading for a second, because it is the sneakiest trap of them all. When you reread something, your brain recognizes the words and it thinks, oh yeah, I got this. But that's just familiarity. True memory is about retrieval, actively pulling that information out of your brain, like fishing for an idea. Rereading doesn't build that muscle at all. Let's wrap up with this really powerful idea. Remembering what you read, it's not some gift you're born with. It's a skill. And just like any skill, whether it's playing guitar or learning to code, you get better with the right system and a little bit of practice. So the final question is for you. Don't try to do everything all at once. Just pick one thing. Out of this whole framework, what is the one small change you can make the very next time you sit down to read? That right there, that's your starting point.